carrying your old habits with you into your new future simply defeats the purpose of what you're looking to accomplish. It will, right from the get go. If you bring that old baggage with you into your new life, I guarantee you it's just going to be a disaster, because what you're doing is you're actually transporting that infection, that disease of negativity and shadows that you were supposed to learn from but not continue to live and carry and give life to. And if you bring that with you into your new reality, your new life, your new dreams, your new desires, it's only going to serve to destroy it. You know, it's like that old bad friend that always gets in trouble and gets locked up and smokes and drinks and does drugs and is promiscuous and just doesn't give it, you know what? And just always just has no respect for anybody. They don't have respect for themselves. But you're still hanging out with that person for whatever reason. Maybe because, you know, back in your high school days, he used to be a good guy or whatever. I don't know. Or she used to be a good person. You know, now it's just all messed up. And you just still stay in contact with this person, even though they have no intention of doing anything with their life other than remaining stuck in the past. But you got to get rid of those types of characters, because they will systematically and single-handedly ruin your freaking life. You got to learn to cut these characters loose, because this is ascension that you're dealing with. And you can't be attached to dead weight. It's not going to allow you to ascend like a hot air balloon. You know how the hot air balloon is tethered to the ground? They got spikes in the ground with ropes to keep it down. And the hot air balloon always has those lead bags. That's what brings it back down, you know? And then once they cut those bags loose, it rises, and they just keep pumping more hot air into the balloon itself. And then when they want to descend, they just decrease that amount of hot air that's pumped into the balloon, and it naturally dissipates and it'll start sinking. But they still have those lead bags, which causes the balloon to be forced right back down to the earth again. Consider people like this, like a lead bag attached to your balloon that wants to rise. I remember one time there was a movie years ago called Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding. I think it came out like 15 years ago. And there was a very profound scene in that movie. Yes, it's Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding. And there was a profound moment. I think it was Jane Fonda was the mother, and I don't remember the lady's name who was the daughter. But she took her daughter outside, and she says, "Come with me." And she dug a hole in the ground, and she had a balloon on one end, and at the bottom was like a sandbag, right? And what she did was, this freaking, it made me cry. She took the sandbag and she put it into that freshly dug hole she just dug in the earth. She dropped the sandbag in there and she covered it up. But the balloon was still tied to the bag. And she gave her daughter a pair of scissors. And I was like, whoa. The metaphor was like overwhelming. You know, and her daughter looked at her and she took the scissors and that balloon just went right up, and that lead weight, that sandbag, stayed buried in the earth. You have to bury your past in order for your future to be born. You know? It's just that simple. You know, that was a profound moment in that movie. It's called Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding with Jane Fonda and a few other people I don't remember. Very profound moment in that movie. As a matter of fact, that was my most favorite scene out of the whole movie that I remember to this day. I think it was at least 15 years, that movie. Maybe 20. But I was like, wow, that was speaking volumes to me, man. That was heavy stuff. So that's essentially what I'm trying to convey here to you. You have a balloon that wants to rise, but it's being held down by the weight of your past. So you got to take that weight and bury it and cover it. And then you got to take your scissors and let that balloon rise. And that bag, that buried lead bag of sand and heaviness, that is comprised of not only who you were in the past, but everybody you hung out with, everybody you associated with, all of your patterns, your routines, your habits, all of that. That all has to go. You know, keep in mind, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just making a heavy duty suggestion, because if you want to progress in life and you want to become something that you've never been before, and allow that new person to take you to places you've never seen before, you have to be willing. It's not a sacrifice, you know, it's a compromise. You have to be committed to your compromise. There's nothing to sacrifice in life. You don't sacrifice anything except your integrity when you put yourself down and build other people up. That's when you sacrifice yourself. But this is something different. So you have to, acknowledge that there's something in you has to be changed and things in your life have to go. So you have to take that sandbag and bury it in the earth and cover it and have that string that's tied to that balloon, and then you have to be consciously in the moment to say enough is enough and just let that balloon soar. And that's where your ascension is going to come from. I mean, it's just very powerful. You could probably look it up on YouTube, the scene I'm referring to. Peace, love, and misunderstanding. Jane Fonda, mother and daughter balloon scene. I don't know how you would word it, but it was freaking profound. The way they did it and everything was like, wow, man. I was like, if you didn't get that metaphor, if you didn't get the metaphor to that, I was like, wow, that was heavy. But anyway, listen, I'm not in this channel here try to tell you what to do because you're a grown up, you're capable of handling your own life. But I'm just saying simple that if you don't like what's going on in your life for whatever reason, you have the power to not only change it and modify it and recalibrate, realign, repair, remove things, create things that have never been created before, destroy things that have to go, sever ties to people that are holding you down. I mean, you don't understand the power you have. Like, look at it like this. This world is like a flaccid lump of clay and you can mold it into anything you want. That's why they never told you any of this stuff when you came here, because they don't want you to know. I know I keep harping on that constantly in a lot of my videos, but it bears repeating. This is what I'm trying to say. It's so significant. I can't just say it once. It's not like a one and done, and then let's move on to other topics. Because you need to know this earth is moving into a new era. I'm going to tell you something before I end the video. The reason why they isolate you folks and keep you locked away and isolated and contactless delivery and all, quarantine and social distancing and all that junk, that is a veiled attempt to prevent people from congregating and communing with each other as social creatures that you are. Because when you guys get together, ladies and gentlemen, when you all get together, you formulate the energies necessary in the creation of a collective consciousness that raises the vibration of everything on this planet, including the planet herself, because the plan of the reptilians is such that they intend on turning this earth into a dark star. They want to turn this whole planet into a penal colony, into a dark star. That's why you have global warming, because reptilians are cold-blooded. So if you haven't figured this stuff out, and no, I'm not on drugs, and this isn't some B Hollywood science fiction crazy movie. This is the truth. That's why the polar caps are melting. The seas will rise a little bit. They're not going to overflood everything. Maybe a few inches the oceans will rise, but the polar caps are integral to the atmosphere, the structural integrity of the atmosphere. The trees, the ocean, the polar caps are all integral to the atmosphere of this earth. If this atmosphere collapses, everything on it dies. That's their intention. If you've ever seen the movie The Lorax, that's why they're burning the forest down. But it isn't going to work because they keep I don't know how to put this, man. They keep underestimating the power of the earth, and they keep forgetting about God, man. They just seem to think that they're running the show. They don't have any power. If they have power, they would be able to do whatever they want. But they're not. They hide their criminal activities because they don't have any power. But anyway, I'm going to cut this video and just say, look, you have to determine and decide and make that choice in yourself. Is this right for me? Is this a right fit? And then you go about formulating whatever plan necessary to take you from point A to point B to point C and however which way you want to go in your life. That's it. That's it. These types of videos are just like maybe reminders and suggestions of things that will allow you to open yourself up to the limitless possibilities of what you have afforded, what you have available to you, and that are afforded to you by the universe every day, and of course to yourself. You're not limited to anything. It's unlimited. That's why I keep saying unlimited transformative potential. I can't stress that word enough. Limitless, ceaseless, birthless, deathless, timeless, formless, shapeless, endless. That is you. That is the real you. You are not the body. This earth is not your home. This life is an illusion. The law of attraction is garbage. It is the law of distraction. That's what that stuff is. And vision boards are horrendous. I already did a video on that. Because when you do a vision board, you're actually affirming that the things you don't have. And that's the last thing you want to do. You're actually affirming on that board that this is what I don't have, but this is what I want. And you're actually reinforcing the lack, loss, and absence mentality, which fits into their law of attraction. Attraction infers that you have to bring something from somewhere else where you are not to where you want it to be, which is the spatial plane that you occupy in the physical right there. It just totally reinforces the lack, loss, and absence mentality. The law of attraction is garbage. I'll tell anybody to their face. It's easily dispatched within a second because it's based on the premise that everything you're doing in the moment is creating everything around you, which is garbage. That's basically telling you that you're responsible for everything on the earth. So if you see a truck crash into a bus, that's your fault. If a bus slams into you while you're on the phone with your kids, that's your fault. You attracted it. I mean, it's just insanity. It's insanity. And people buy into it because they don't know any better, because you're just referring to a past identity, which is your database of your accumulated experiences that formulates your perceptive lens and your outlook on life and everything. And that's all been inhibited with lies, because it's all inherently wrought with prevarication, misinformation, disinformation, and the wrong directions to deliberately get you lost in life and keep you that way. And that's by design. But anyway, if you recognize the necessity for change within yourself, then, my friend, change will arrive because you are the catalyst of that change. Absolutely.